going to show some films this morning, and we're going to have a Q&A. Please welcome Michelle Baharia from CoolTan Arts.
Thank you, David, and thank you all for getting up and coming along here on a Monday morning. And I know for most of us, we're used to seeing things at CoolTan, and this is really lovely to have a brilliant cinema to actually watch our films for the first time. So I'd really like a big round of applause and a big thank you to David.
CoolTan Arts is a charity organisation that believes art can improve mental health.
But I've refused to replace it again until they put a camera onto it, and they say they can't afford to do that. Obviously, clearly it's a seat and people meet there. I like all that, and it's very important that he wasn't up in the air, you know, making a sort of camp gesture or something. I mean, up in the air above people. I mean,
The Largactyl Shuffle. There's this stuff called Largactyl, and it's given to people in psychiatric hospitals, and it's used far more in prisons to keep people subdued. There's different forms of it. One's a nasty green syrupy liquid. When you first take it, it tastes bloody awful. It kills all your CNS, your central nervous system, off. So after you've had like 2 or 3 days on it, you've got no taste buds left. You can't see properly. You start sort of hallucinating on the stuff. But the thing is, you end up shuffling. Because you've no real control over everything, your shoulders pull in and you're like, and you.
Today's event, I think CoolTan did itself proud with the 3 films shown. I have mild criticisms about the first film, which I thought was too short and looked more like a TV commercial than a proper intro into the work of CoolTan. But I think you can use it as a basis to make a better case, you know, for CoolTan. But the interview with Maggi Hambling was exhilarating. It's lovely. And I also liked the film on the midnight. Midsummer's Nights. Was it Midsummer last year? Yeah. Which unfortunately I couldn't take part in. But I'm glad to see the film. And I think Ari in particular, as a guide, made a tremendous job out of this. So I enjoyed this tremendously. And I think it should help others who don't know much about CoolTan to get a very good idea of what you are all about and how it can be supported.
My name's Sarah Lawrence, and I come from the Arts at Dartington and also Sound Art Radio. So I was very interested to come today and see the film made by CoolTan, which I'm very inspired by, and to watch the film about the Largactyl Shuffle was really interesting because I hadn't quite realised exactly what it was about, and yeah, I was very inspired and hope that I can come up and join one of the walks as well. So it was quite an insight, and yeah, I'm very glad that I came today and met a lot of people involved, and will take a lot of that away with me. And I watched the one on Maggi Hambling. I found really interesting as well, and again I was really inspired by that, and to learn about how she has become involved with CoolTan and her ideas on creativity as well, which obviously echoed by the work of CoolTan, which is really interesting.
Right, my name is John Pratty. I'm a journalist and an artist and a mental health service user, and I'm the manager of Disability Arts Online website. And the film I thought was a great document of this. It's a really fascinating movement. It's more of a movement than an activity. I just thought it was fantastic. Yeah, well, I know a bit about film because I make a few films myself. I was impressed by the kind of live feeling of the film, and I really liked the way that the film didn't use lighting. It was available light, it was shooting from the hip, it was included lots of comments from behind the camera, off the side, and it felt really live and undirected and informal, and the whole thing made me feel like it was a group of people making the film, not a traditional sort of director situation. It was very cool and participatory.
I'm Alison Tchaikovsky. I'm a volunteer with CoolTan. I saw the last film, the one about the Largactyl Shuffle. It was really interesting because I've never actually managed to get onto a Largactyl Shuffle. I've always been on the end and the organising side of it. And I would like to do a Largactyl Shuffle. But it was really interesting just to see what happens on it, especially with it being the midnight walk as well. It was really, really good. I thought it was very professionally done. And it was nice to have sort of the voiceover of familiar people, because we all know Michelle and we all know Ari. And with the music as well and the poetry, because that's what the Largactyl was about as well. It's not just about a walk, it's about the history of Southwark, and it's the poets are part of Southwark's history, and it's as Michelle describes in the video, it's a pilgrimage of sorts to sort of tackle the stigma that goes along with mental health.
It's Jules. Well, I used to do some voluntary work for CoolTan about a couple of years ago, helping out and teaching a bit of Photoshop and so on. And I mean, the films were excellent. I really enjoyed the films. It's great to see so many people turn up. They seem to be full. And yeah, I very much enjoyed the films. I thought they were really well put together. And it was good, especially the Largactyl Shuffle. It was good to see how that worked, because I haven't been on that walk, and that was very interesting. And the other two films were really good as well. I guess the first one was a little bit too short, I thought. It was nice images there. Possibly could have been a little bit longer, because CoolTan's very interesting. So it's a good, it wasn't quite long enough to explain the whole place and how much it does. And then I thought the Maggi Hambling was excellent, but the sound was possibly a bit too loud, was it? Was that them, or was that on the... That was them, wasn't it? Yeah, slightly distorted. But otherwise, yeah, all three of them were very well put together.
Yeah, my name's Mike Wild. I worked on 2 of the films that were shown today, so I thought I'd come along and see how they played.
CoolTan Arts believes in mental well-being. We're developing this walk to empower well-being.
And so I learned a lot about mental health, and I learned a lot about the walk itself, and I learned a lot of history on the walk as well, so it was really, really good.